So go look backwards and
Yeah, it looks, but it doesn't, when people see it, it's not, it looks to us like it's, oh, fart. It's not, it looks to us like it's, oh, fart. Okay. Nobody on yet?
no, it says there's 4.
Oh, nobody's chatted yet. Okay. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Wee.
I'm such a party animal.
Oh, we're so sad when it comes to New Year's Eve. Remember when we were younger and we used to go out on New Year's Eve?
Yeah,
Well, we're not doing that anymore. So who have we got here? We've got, what does it say? How many?
5.
Five live. So how's everybody doing? What are your plans for tonight?
Survive Christmas.
I'm losing my little decoration here. You'll see we spared no expense on our decorations in behind here. And of course, we're wearing our tiaras because who wouldn't? It's New Year's Eve. Nobody's chatting yet. So talk to us, people.
That's unusual.
This is, yeah.
You sure you got chat on?
Maybe I don't have chat on. Live chat. Yeah, should be. Live chat. There it is. Hello, hello. No, chat's working. 7 people watching. Why am I not seeing anybody chatting? Let us know. Can you, first of all, can you hear us? Can you see us? Let me know. Ah, here we go. Mel's here. Hello, boys, and happy last hours for 2017. Yep, I guess it's probably a little bit closer to midnight for you, Mel, in Finland, right? Than it is for us. Oh, here's everybody coming on. Kim's here. Happy New Year. Well, it's 1 a.m. here in UAE.
Yeah, so it is. It's already past midnight.
Yeah, it is. And they can hear us and they can see us. That's great. And Ilona's here. Hi, hi guys. Hi, Ilona. And Happy New Year, Mel, it says Kimberly. So we got everybody here. I don't know how many people we'll have. We're up to 11, though. Being there's a lot of people out there that don't have big plans for New Year's Eve like us. This is New Year's Eve for us.
Well, actually, it's
Not yet. It's only 4 o'clock.
we're often doing something on New Year's Eve, but this year we decided not to.
Well, we did the epitome last year when we were in
You
Australia.
can't top it last year. Last
No.
year we were at Sydney Opera House, so.
Yeah, and Kimberly says, yeah, Mel says it's less than 1 hour for them. For us, it's another 8 hours.
No, 6, 7, yeah, 8 hours.
8 hours for us. Australia's already had it, and they're into New Year's Day already, well into it. We
Yeah.
watched the fireworks. It was up on YouTube for this year. And we saw it live last year when we were in Australia, and that's probably the most sensational New Year's Eve we've ever spent in our lives, was that, because we were at the Sydney Opera House for the gala. We had dinner there, a gala show, the first set of fireworks. They have a kids' fireworks display. Then we had the second part of the gala show, and then we had the after party show, which included a wonderful view of the fireworks, the Harbor Bridge, with all kinds of, well, it wasn't really free champagne, but it was an open bar in a sense, and anything you wanted, and they had
It was,
hors d'oeuvres.
it was included in the price of what we paid.
Yeah,
Sure, yeah.
and what we
Good.
paid was quite a lot of money because it was, how much was it? It was it?
1,100 of our dollars per person.
So it was $2,200 for the two of us for the night. But it was worth every cent, I will tell you that.
Plus another $800 for the hotel room.
Yeah, well, we already had the hotel room in Sydney because we'd been staying
And
there.
that
but-
wasn't an expensive hotel.
No. But anyways, it was worth every cent. It kind of shocked me when Walter said he had booked this.
Yeah, I didn't tell him until there was only I'd looked at it a few months before we were gonna go, and asked him about it, and he said no, that's too expensive. And then I started looking around at other venues and found that the other venues weren't too cheap either. So then I went back and there was like two decent seats left in the Opera House. So or what I thought, because I didn't know, we've never been in the Opera House. So I booked those two seats and didn't tell him until a couple of days later.
Yeah, we're sitting in the hot tub and he starts the conversation. Well, I did something last night. And when I hear those words come out of his mouth, I know it's going to cost money and he's either bought something or whatever. And I said, so what'd you buy this time? Well, I got tickets to the Opera House and we're having dinner there and there's a show and we're going to have a good vantage point for the fireworks and there's an after party show. And then I said, yes, and how much is this going to cost us? Now I was figuring it was going to cost us a couple of $100 each. When he said $1,100, I went, for the two of us. And he goes, no, each. And at that point, I almost drowned in the hot tub. But caught my breath really quick and thought, it's a once-in-a-lifetime deal. We'll probably never be back to Australia. Might as well do it and whatnot. Now, having said that, in a month's time, we're going back to Australia. So, as you know.
Yeah, but they're not doing that at the Opera House.
But if you'd like to see what we saw on that, I do have a video up on my channel. You'll have to do some searching for it because it was a year ago. But there is one there about the New Year's Eve gala. And I've got some great shots of what it was like and the whole bit. And you can check that out and see what we...
I don't know. I think it was worth the $1,100
Yeah,
each.
I think it was too. I really do. So what are people saying here? B is here. Or Brenda's here, I mean, sorry. And... who else is here? B is here. No, that's Debbie. Okay.
And that was not paid on credit card. That was
No,
cash. We don't
buy
anything on
credit card when it comes to these kind of things. We're not going into debt for the rest of our life on that. We're very conscious about that. So Mel says, I never go anywhere on New Year because I don't want to leave my animals alone. They don't like fireworks and all that noise. Yeah. I don't know how Cleo was. Our old cat.
Our old cat never even noticed.
No, she just passed out.
I mean, during a thunderstorm, she would just sort of it's like it was nothing.
Yeah,
was
it was not a
happening.
big deal. And let's see. Ilona says, nice headwear, guys. Yep, all the way. We spared no expense for the decorations. All from the dollar store. Yep.
Was it actually $1?
No, I think they were $1.25.
Yeah, I know.
But you got 3 for $1.25.
Oh wow, pardon me.
Kim says, I have to say that I love the festive headgear, Stephen Walter. Yep, we do it all for you. And what are we drinking? Good question.
We're drinking. It looks like off champagne.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It looks like urine, actually.
it's Jacob's Creek Chardonnay Pinot Noir sparkling wine with
Champagne.
We call it champagne.
Yeah.
And with Chambord liqueur.
Yeah, Chambord liqueur in it, which is a blackberry kind of liqueur. It's one of my favorites. But it does...
However, our Chambord in the cupboard seemed to have got...
The color has changed.
Discolored a little bit.
Still tastes good.
It's usually a nice red color when you first buy it.
Yeah. And we are eating baba ganoush and hummus, left over from Christmas dinner, and some shrimpies and shrimp sauce.
And I think in Australia they call them prawns.
Oh, yeah. In Australia, they'd be prawns.
We were trying to figure that out.
Yeah, if
when
there
we
was
were
something different between the two. I still think prawns are a little different than what we call
Well,
shrimp here.
What we call prawns are a little, technically they're a little bit different, but I think, I don't think there's that much difference. They taste pretty much the same.
Yeah, I guess.
But I think they call everything prawns in
maybe.
Australia.
And let's see. Oh, Ilona says, don't the guys look cute like that is. Anne is here. Happy New Year's to everyone, she says, from sunny Florida.
Yeah.
Wish we were there.
Minus 16, which is about 3 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah. So,
It's been really cold this December.
yep, we got a white Christmas.
Lots of white.
Lots of it. We've got lots of snow. And I know some people say, well, yeah, you live in Canada. Of course
Yeah,
you're gonna
but
have snow, but
we've had lots of
not
green
really.
Christmases.
Yeah.
And I remember one time when I was much younger,
Oh, that was way back when you fell off the horse and buggy when
Yeah,
you were
I
going
know.
to
When
school.
when I was much younger, and I was in my 20s, and I
In your
used to
20s.
jog.
Do you remember your 20s?
Yeah, I used to jog. I remember going out on Christmas Day, and it was 15 degrees Celsius.
Oh, they're saying you look foggy. Actually, yeah, I see what you mean. It's because he's got a heavenly glow over top of his head, and it's probably the reflection of the light off his bald spot.
Maybe that's maybe I need to
If you turn down the
turn down
lights
the
a little
lights.
bit, maybe that will make that a little better. It's kind of weird. Must be the position. Okay, now try that. It's still a bit of a glow there, but
Oh.
okay. All right, that's good. Ooh, mood lighting. Okay, so that's a little better.
Yeah, I think it's the angle of the camera or something.
Virginia says best wishes for 2018 from Cincinnati, Ohio. The same to you.
Still there.
Well, it's about
Well, I
all we
think it's
can't
down.
do much about it. So, 3 hours to midnight in the UK. Sandy says. Mel says, "Yep, Walter looks foggy. It's probably the light above his head. Yep." I lift my ice cold Bud Light. This is Brenda says. I lift my ice cold Bud Light in a toast to you guys being here for all of next year. We're planning on it.
Um,
Art from the heart. That's Katie's here. She says, "Hello guys, Happy New Year's Eve." And Kimberly says, "And I thought it was nachos. I'm such a Californian. Sorry, y'all. Actually, it's not. These are
Ritz chips.
Ritz chips. They're baked. They're not fried. They're supposed to be lower in fat. Like we care. We probably should care, but
We do care.
well, we do." Ann says prawns are just bigger shrimp. Mel says, "I'm having dark beer. Damn, it's good and cold." Burr. Ann says,
Actually,
"You're."
there's a funny thing about the beer being good and cold.
Yeah.
I actually like drinking it at room temperature.
Yeah, well, he drinks everything at room temperature. It's disgusting. And Ann says, "He is just heavenly," referring to you. Yeah, that's what's holding up his tiara, his horns.
Yeah.
Kimberly says it's 69 degrees Fahrenheit. That's in Florida, I believe.
Yeah, that's closer to
Oh no, she's in the UAE.
69 degrees Fahrenheit.
69 Fahrenheit. Yep.
Okay, that would be close to 20 Celsius. here.
Yeah. So balmy.
Warm.
And Katie says we're up to 16 degrees Fahrenheit here today, and she's in Colorado. So
And that's still warmer than here.
yeah, that's still warmer. It's a plus number. We're having a minus
I
number.
think we're at 3 degrees Fahrenheit here.
Yeah, so it's a bit frosty. But anyways, so our big plans for New Year's Eve. You're looking at it.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing for New Year's Eve. Now, we're not going to be on here for a countdown to midnight,
No.
so yeah, I probably won't be even awake for that. But we'll do this in our usual time thing. But, we thought we'd get a little festive. But no, we don't have any plans to go out. Actually, you go out anymore anyways. It's a big pain in the butt because you're going to go out, so you're going to be drinking, so you can't drive, of course. So it means you got to take a taxi or one of those services. We have them here called Keys to Us, where basically you drive to the venue, they drive your car back home with you in it.
It usually was that they pick you up and then they'll have two drivers. One drives your car and the other one drives behind you and
Yeah,
and they leave.
kind of a team thing
Yeah.
with that. But then all the money you spend on booze and food and
Well, yeah, and here, if you go to out for a New Year's Eve dinner or something like that, they usually charge quite a bit for you to go out for something like
yeah,
that.
if you go to a restaurant someplace, well, first of all, you've had to have made reservations months in advance for
Yeah.
it, and it's usually a fixed menu.
And it's usually about 2-3 times the price of
If you went
a
to
regular night. So we've done that a couple of
Yeah,
times,
we've done
but
it.
that's kind of boring too. So.
Yeah, it's just we're getting I think we're getting old, but whatever. And then some people have house parties. We've been to a few of those in the years.
They
gone
stopped
by,
inviting us.
but they stopped inviting us.
It must
well,
be getting too old.
I
don't
don't know,
know.
maybe. Well, There's one set of our friends who they like to hang around with a bit of a younger crowd, even though they're not that much younger than us. But
Yeah, and
we're a little too
we're
old for them, I think. So
Oh,
we
well.
don't. Well, that's okay. We don't care. B says it's been cold here in the UK, but has warmed up a little. Didn't you have a front bite warning in Canada?
Yeah, we've had
Frostbite
warnings.
warning thing.
We've had warnings all week. We're really cold for December, which is very unusual. It's not unusual for us to get cold, but we're unusually cold. And this week, I guess on Thursday or Friday, they're calling for -26 at night.
Yeah,
I think tonight it's supposed to go to -20.
and that's not counting what we call the wind chill factor.
Yeah, and which is actually when we go below -15, it's usually, it's kind of unusual. We usually have a couple of days like that, but usually they're not in December. They're usually in February, January, and February.
Yeah, not.
Because that's our coldest months. Who knows what's going to happen this year?
I mean, cause
So much for global warming.
Yeah.
Warming.
Well, technically, we only start at winter on the 21st of December.
Yeah.
So, we've got 3 more months of looking forward to this. Thank God 5 weeks out of that, we're going to be in a nice warm place in
I
Australia.
mean, our houses are very well insulated.
Yeah, we're comfy
And,
cold.
and
Comfy.
we have central heating and everything. So,
Yeah, and Katie says, it's expensive to go to big New Year's celebrations. We used to do it, but we don't stay up that late anymore. Yeah, I know the feeling. Well, I might stay up tonight. Usually there's a big celebration in Toronto, which is, as you know, we've mentioned Toronto before, it's our biggest city in Canada, and we live about 45 minutes away from it. And it's outdoors. They have it at the City Hall, and they usually have like musical groups and
Yeah.
everything for about 4 hours or something before midnight and that. But this year, because of the cold, the extreme cold alert, they've cut way back on that because
yeah, I guess they're not going to start it until closer to midnight.
yeah,
And it's not going to last longer
No.
because of the weather being so cold. They don't want people to get frostbite or anything like that.
yeah, or hypothermia
Yeah.
or the whole bit. That's one of the problems with this environment that we live in.
I mean, it's up and down all the time. We've had Christmases where it's really warm, and then the other ones, warm meaning, like I said, 15 degrees or 10 degrees or whatever. And I mean, we were out yesterday driving around, and it was about -11, and there was no wind, and it was sunny, so it was actually very pleasant.
So it was pleasant. Like,
I
not pleasant,
mean,
get
it's
out your bikini
cold.
pleasant, but
but it wasn't uncomfortable.
no.
And we always get, when it gets really cold like this, we always get sort of acclimatized to the cold. And if you get really cold right at the beginning of the winter, everybody's freezing their butts off.
Yeah.
But at this time, when it gets -17, and then if the next day is like -8, then everybody feels it's warm.
Yeah. So, Craft and Bev is here. Hi, Stephen and Walter, she says. Hi, Bev. And Ann says, supposed to be the coldest New Year's Eve in Times Square in 101 years.
Yeah, well,
but
that
there'll
is-
still be people there at it. Boy, they've got heavy security though going on that
Yeah.
because of they've already had
Uh,
2 things just by Halloween or just after Halloween in New York City, terrorist acts. So I don't know if I'd want to be out there, not
No.
just for the cold. I wouldn't feel safe. And for that matter, it could happen in Toronto too.
Yeah.
Although we don't ever think about that. But and Ann says Toronto's such a great city. I guess.
I don't know. I guess we live too close to it.
Yeah, we live close to it. It's okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's exotic for people that are traveling to here,
Yeah.
but then for us, it's like anything. You're close by, and it's Toronto. I used to work in there for a few years.
Brenda says, do you have any New Year's resolutions? I don't make New Year's resolutions.
I don't either.
I don't like to make promises I can't keep. And you know darn well, right, that, everybody's got these good intentions and things. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to talk more about that on my vlog.
I actually kind of hate it because everybody makes these New Year's resolutions to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So then on in January and February, the gym is like mega busy. And then until everybody stops going again.
Yeah,
So,
that's when they sell the most memberships.
I mean, I go fairly regularly. Well, I don't go as regularly as I should, but I've been going a little more regularly. And I always hate this time of year because it's so busy in the gym, in the change rooms, and in the actually exercise rooms and that.
Well, hi, Sue. Sue's here, Susie Q. Um, and Katie says, watching you eat those shrimp is making me want some. Here we go.
They're actually leftovers from Christmas dinner.
They're left over from part of the appetizers for Christmas dinner. So yeah, I think we talked about, have we had one since Christmas?
I don't believe we have.
When was Christmas?
That was a week ago.
Yeah, it was on Monday. So
Yeah, but
we've already done. We've had.
No, I
Last-
thought we did it before Christmas.
Oh, that's right, we did. Yeah, I'm losing track of time. In holidays, everything's screwed up in holiday time, which shouldn't really screw me up because I'm on holidays all the time. So are you now, as a retarded people that we are. Retired, I mean. Kim says, my first and only time in New York City for New Year's, it snowed and I turned tail and went inside. I watched the people drop on the TV like I always have. Apple drop. Sorry, not the people, the apple drop on the TV. Is it an apple?
I thought it was a mirror ball.
I thought it was just big mirror ball.
The ball drop.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Apple sponsors it now. Maybe
Oh,
put an
I
Apple
don't
on.
know.
Who knows? I don't know. How about
I don't
how
usually
about-
watch.
a word of the year? Not exactly a resolution, but setting an intention for the year. Nope, don't have any intentions. Nope. To be alive. Yeah, live. There's
No,
my word.
I've
live.
never, in all the years, I've never ever made a New Year's resolution.
Yeah, no, I never bothered with that kind of thing either.
I mean,
Being what?
no, I don't know. I don't. Why pick New Year's to make a resolution?
Well, Jody's here from Colorado. That's Miss Purple Potato. Happy New Year, she says to everyone. And 931 thumbs. I don't have a 931 thumbs on here. Are you new 931 thumbs to our live broadcast? Well, you're welcome. Happy New Year's, guys, from the Pocono Mountains, PA. Whoa, okay.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And I was looking for the YouTube channel, such a thing. Hi, Jody. I was just looking for your YouTube channel today. You do such lovely projects. Yes, and Miss Purple Potato, I am going to review your YouTube channel in an upcoming video. Not this one coming up, but probably the next one. And so, how many we got watching now? 19.
Wow.
No, a lot of people
A lot
at
of
New
people
Year's
are-
party. Oh, to think that we're your New Year's Eve entertainment. Well,
Oh my God.
for my first song, I would like to sing, no, that's not going to happen. You'll all run away very fast. So, anyways, so we had a nice Christmas dinner with family, and glad that's over. And yeah, I hate cleaning up after it. And speaking of cleaning up, tomorrow the Christmas decorations come down. Yay. Get things back to normal with it all. I don't know. My mother used to leave them up until about the middle of January. She probably still will because,
I'll probably leave them up for until we hit a warm day and then
what, the outdoor lights?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But I'm talking the indoor stuff.
well, first of all, everything will be frozen out there. I won't be able to unplug anything.
No, our poor little snowmen are probably just shivering in their boots.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to catch up here. It's 7 degrees in the Poconos. Ah, balmy,
That's still warm.
balmy. And Judith Thomas is here. Give a thumbs up to everyone. Hello from Ontario. Oh, an Ontario person. Great. So, what are we going to talk about? Well, what's been happening? So we're talking about Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and I think we've pretty much summed it up. Walter got me some books on sewing, which if you saw this week's vlog, I talked about those. And I've been doing a lot of sewing, so tomorrow on my vlog, I'm going to show you some of the latest projects that I've been working on. I made an apron, And I'm very proud of that. And now I'm really getting into
Didn't you
major.
make a mistake when you were making your?
We're not going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of put it together.
He didn't follow the instructions.
Well, I thought the instructions were wrong. And then I realized
And then they
they
were
were
actually
right.
right.
And so I had to rip everything out and do it again. But that's okay. Actually, strange enough thing is, I kind of like seam ripping. I don't know why. There's something soothing about it. Well, yeah, it eats up a lot of time, but I don't know. I'm just weird that way. Bev says, my decorations always come down on the 7th of January, which is the 13th day after Christmas or the Epiphany. Yes, that's right. I thought the Epiphany was the 6th of January. Is it the 7th? Oh, geez. Well, I don't know. And Mel says, we take Christmas decorations away in Epiphany. That's supposed to be the end of Christmas time. Yeah, that's usually when my mother used to do it. They call it Little Christmas as well, or Ukrainian Christmas.
Oh, is that Ukrainian Christmas?
Yeah, it's got different names. It is actually Epiphany. It's supposed to be the time when the wise men came and, went, oh, look, baby cheese. Or baby cheese. No, and they all got out their baby bells and, no, never mind. Oh, yeah, so Bev says, no, she says it is the 6th. Okay, that's what I thought. But anyway, so that was Christmas. So what have we been doing? Well, New Year's Eve past and present. We've already sort of talked about that when we were younger, things that you do and what people do. I know in different countries there's different traditions for it as well. The Aussies really know how to have a good time on New Year's Eve. I mean, they just pack the Sydney Opera House area, and they have parties all over the place, and very well organized too. I'll have to say, their crowd control.
Yeah, well, given how many people are there
Yeah.
at New Year's, the crowd control is phenomenal.
Like, I've never seen something so well
Organized.
orchestrated and organized in the whole bit. I'm sure there were, but we didn't run into anybody that was being obnoxious, like obnoxious drunks. I'm sure there had to be somewhere along because of the number of people that were there. But when we walked back to the hotel room from the Sydney Opera House that night, everybody seemed to be, they were all in good spirits, but they seemed to be very orderly and conducting themselves in a very civilized manner. So,
Yeah, and they were announcing in the streets where public transit, best spots were to take public transit, and it was really astounding. I don't think I'd ever hear something like that in Toronto.
the crowd is demanding refills. So, we aim to please with that.
So this is Chambord.
That's what Chambord looks like. It's an expensive liqueur. It's like, what, $40 a
It's
bottle?
supposed to be red, but it's kind of a brown color.
Okay, are you going to put a little champagne in there too?
Yeah, I know.
Holy crap. Jeez. Still have to cook dinner. And what are we having for dinner tonight?
We're having leftover turkey curry.
Well, it's really not leftover
Oh, no,
turkey
no, no,
curry.
no.
It's
I'm
leftover
making
turkey
turkey
that
curry.
he's making into a curry. That's what he's doing.
Yeah,
So,
got to eat that stuff up.
he made, and you saw that on my vlog, he made the creme brulee in the with the circulator, the sous vide method, and that turned out really good. But he made 2 batches of this stuff because the first one he thought was too salty. He followed the recipe and he thought it was too salty. I didn't think it was too salty, but he thought it was too salty. So,
I thought it was too.
so of course he decided.
I
to do
don't
it.
like it when it doesn't come out exactly the way I
Yeah,
want it.
picky, because I told you, you don't have to worry. My family won't criticize you to your face. They criticize me to my face. But if I told them, oh, Walter made it, it would be perfect. They wouldn't complain at all about it. But it was good. And we still have lots of it left. So he's trying to freeze it to see. So what was your
But
conclusion last night?
I think it changed the texture of it after it was frozen.
But
It's not, well, it wasn't that expensive to make, so,
No.
I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't
I
work.
wonder how long it'll stay in the fridge before it goes
It's
green.
not supposed to be it's not, it's supposed to last a week in the fridge.
Oh, okay. Maybe we go out and donate the leftovers to the homeless.
It's kind of rich.
Creme brulee? Creme brulee? Um, yeah, but it's good. Well, we'll have to have some of it tonight. Um, Katie says, I love Chambord and champagne with a lemon twist. I think it's called a Curt Royale. Yes,
Yes.
it is. In fact, when we were on the last cruise we were on, I was ordering Royales all the time. Um, but I don't know if they put any lemon in it or not. In
No,
fact,
I don't think they did.
no, because they weren't really sure what that was. But one of the guys knew, and then he told the other ones what. They also there's something else they called it. Oh, Sham Sham. It's called a Sham Sham. So
Chambord
Chambord
and
and champagne. Yeah, with it too. That's the other name I'd heard for it. Mel says this live show is great today. Never had such an international New Year with all you around the world. Yeah, that's kind of a
Yeah,
neat thing,
actually,
eh?
it's kind of interesting. A girl I used to work with had, because my office was a lot of very international people in it, and a girl I knew, she used to have a little globe on her desk, and she used to ask people where they were from and sort of spin the globe and take a look.
Oh, spin the globe.
Yeah, and actually, it was we had two ladies that were close. They were darker skinned, and they had Samantha and Rebecca, and we always used to confuse the two of them. But anyway, I thought they were both from South America, and then later on, I found out that one of them was actually born in Scotland.
Oh, okay.
And
Scotland,
then moved to
South
South
America.
America.
Oh,
And but I think they were originally from South America. And the other one, Rebecca, who I always thought was from South America, turned out to be Ethiopian.
oh, okay.
So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, people go all over the world these days and live there. Now, Kimberly says, my mom bakes with Chambord. She says a liqueur, right? Yes, it's a
Yes.
liqueur. It's blackberry liqueur.
No, I think it's black currant.
Or black currant, sorry, black currant, yeah, it's black currant. And Katie says, just a tiny twist of the lemon and rind, just a tiny twist of the lemon rind. We
I'll
should
have to
give
try that sometime.
Have to give that a try at some point in time. By the way, how come we've got a whole bunch of cut up limes in?
Oh, because I thought somebody might have wanted soda and lime on Christmas Day.
Well, not my family. They just
Okay,
wanted
well, I
booze.
don't know.
Except my mother. She has to always cut her.
I just was trying to be prepared for an unknown request.
Well, we had my mother. She drinks her wine, red wine. I'll just have this much red wine and the rest club soda, please. She had that like
Red wine and
okay,
club soda.
like
Well, she used to do that because your dad made this horrible
oh yeah,
homemade
Oh.
wine that you could not drink.
oh god, it was strip wood. It was the
So
worst stuff.
their solution was to cut it with club soda.
Yeah, yeah. But didn't your parents
Well,
cut
my
something
dad-
with orange juice?
Yeah, my dad used to. My dad used to make his own wine, but he made it so really strong alcoholic wine, and to the point where you couldn't drink it one glass because you'd get bummed.
So didn't he take it to a neighbor who had a still
Yeah, so
not long
No,
out
no,
of the
so
our
not a neighbor.
Oh, the
So,
hills.
he used to work at a factory, and it's illegal to distill your own liquor in Canada.
yeah
But
moonshine.
moonshine.
Yeah, well, we don't make
But
moonshine.
my dad decided to make this dandelion and raisin wine.
Ooh.
Oh, it was disgusting. Anyway, it had a very strong alcohol content. So he had great big, what do they call it, demijohns of this stuff?
Yeah.
Big, huge
Carboys.
carboys
We call
full of
carboys,
this
but demijohns. Yeah.
awful wine. And he was talking to one of the guys that he worked with that was from Newfoundland. Right?
Well,
Newfoundland. Right.
They would know.
Yeah, and they know how to distill.
Probably be Screech.
Yeah. So he says, well, the guy says to him, I can distill it for you. He says,
Bye, Debbie. Happy New Year.
and my dad said, sure. So he says, how much will it cost me? And he goes, well, just let me keep a couple of bottles of the results, and that's a good enough
Yeah.
for payment. Well, I guess that my mom said it was the best liquor she's ever had.
Well, the Newfies. If you're not from our country and don't know what we mean by Newfies, those are the people who live in the province of Newfoundland.
They probably don't like it when we call them Newfies.
No, I don't know, but they call themselves Newfies.
I don't know.
Too, Newfs, whatever. But they have a drink that they make. It's pure alcohol, and they call it Screech because I think after one sip of it, well, I've had Screech.
Apparently, you can buy Screech in the liquor store.
Oh God, they made it a legitimate drink now?
They call it Screech rum.
Well, one sip of whatever this homemade stuff is, and you are screeching. I'll tell you that.
I don't think the stuff in the liquor stores is potent as the stuff that they make there.
Well, at the Quebec Winter Carnival years ago, you used to be able to get these plastic hollow canes. And the Quebec Winter Carnival always happens in around February, and if you think it's cold here, Quebec's really cold.
And they also get massive amounts of snow.
Yeah, and they make an ice palace kind of a thing, and Bonhomme, this big sort of snowman-y kind of thing, dressed in habitant clothing kind of a deal. He's the mascot for it. But people will walk around the street. Now, this is many years ago. I haven't been, I think I was like 18. But they have these plastic canes that you can buy, and they're hollow, of course. And the top comes off them, and you put your booze in it. Well, that's, some people will have Screech and pour it in there, and they're kind of drinking it on the street, which is illegal to do, but it's Winter Carnival and it's Quebec, who cares? You know, no speak of the Frenchy or whatever kind of a thing. Kimberly says, I've only been to Vancouver, BC and loved it. Now I have to go to Eastern Canada. Okay, you're going to find a vast difference between BC and Eastern Canada. BC, first of all, climate-wise, I don't know what the temperature is there today, but I can guarantee you that it is nothing as cold as it is here because they have the effect of the mountains, the Rockies, and they're onto the ocean, and there's some warm ocean currents that hit there and all that effect. And so this time of the year, they don't necessarily have snow. In fact, my brother lives out there, and when he first moved out there about 10 years ago, he was bragging that in the first part of February, they had flowers. They had crocuses and things like that coming up, whereas we don't see those kind of springtime flowers until like May out in Ontario. The only thing is, it rains a lot.
It's not even freezing in Vancouver.
No, what is it?
It's 3 degrees Celsius.
Well, that's cold for them.
Which is 38 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, so it's balmy. But the East Coast, totally different. They're probably, especially like Newfoundland and Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick, they're probably buried under all kinds of snow because they get whatever the United States Eastern Seaboard gets, which they get some very severe weather there in the wintertime, they get it usually up there too, and it's cold. But totally different people.
Yeah.
BC, the people are more like the stereotype of Californians. Hey dude, surf's up. The East Coasters are sort of more like, hey, ice the buys the bills the boat, and ice the buys the sails are, come on in, we're all gonna have a little Screech. And stuff like that. Very nice people.
They're nice people, but it's more of a rural.
Can you say Hicks? And I mean that in the nicest way, okay? See, they don't, Eastern Ontario and Eastern Canada and Western Canada do not like those of us in Central Canada because this is
They all hate us.
They all hate us because this is where all the money is. It's the financial center of Canada, for one thing.
It's also the most populous.
It's the most populated area, and we are considered snotty.
I mean, Canada's a huge country, and we only have about 35 million people. So, and all of them are concentrated. Well, I think, I can't remember what the percentage is. I think it's like about 50% that's concentrated in this area.
Yeah.
And then and most of the people are concentrated in all the main centers, like Montreal and Vancouver and Toronto. And then all the other cities are just minor cities.
Yeah, they're smaller.
Small.
And I mean, even when we're talking about Toronto being the largest city, it's still a city that's only 3.5 million people.
Yeah.
In it. And so, you go to someplace like London, England, you go to New York, you go to any of the major cities in the United States, and they're probably bigger than Toronto. But then again, we only have 33, 34 million people in this whole country, and we're the second largest landmass country in the world. The only one that beats us is Russia. So
Well, Australia's sort of like us because they're a large landmass
Mm-hmm.
and they only have, I think I
Is
looked
it
it up. They have
25
about
million?
25 million.
Or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of if you ever come to Canada, and if you're not like from North America, if you're from Europe or that kind of thing, be prepared for distances. I mean, how many
Yeah,
times?
I mean, yeah, I know. Like in Holland, my parents come from Holland, and I think I may have said this on a previous broadcast, but
Probably did.
uh, my aunt, we went to visit my aunt in 2004, and I've heard this before. She said, well, we met some people from Canada while we were on vacation in Spain, and we were going to go come up to Canada and rent a camper, and because they seem to like to do that, rent
Yeah.
campers. Anyway, rent a camper and go see these friends, and then go visit your parents. Well, I said, so where are these people from that you met? And she said, oh, they were from Vancouver. And Vancouver from here
It's
is about
3,000.
3,000 kilometers away. So,
No, 3,000 miles.
no, I
It's
believe
5,000 kilometers.
no, it's 3,000
Is it
kilometers.
3,000
Direct, yeah, it
kilometers?
is, yeah.
I thought it was okay.
Oh,
Whatever.
anyway,
Well, it's a long, long way.
right, it's about 2,000 miles. So, from here. And they have no concept of the distance. It's like I had to go over it with my cousin before too. I said, look, if you, she says, well, I want to come visit you and go skiing. Well, they're used to mountains over there. And in Ontario, there is places you go skiing, but they're just big hills.
They're just big hills. They're
Right.
not
And,
mountains.
and I said, if you come this area to ski, you'll be really disappointed. I said, if you want to go ski, you have to go to Alberta or to British Columbia to ski because that's where the mountains are,
That's where the Rockies are. Yeah.
right? And I said, it's a lot further. So I had to get it through her head a couple of times that it's like really a long distance away.
Yeah, Mel says Canada would be a great place to visit. Wildlife photography is one of my dearest hobbies, and Canada would be a great place to have a holiday. Yes, and there is a lot of wildlife, and it will eat you. So you see
Actually,
people, stupid people, and I mean Canadian stupid people, they'll go out west, see a bear on the side of the road, and feed it like nuts or something from their car
or
window.
they'll jump out and chase it with their cameras
Yeah, you don't chase a bear. If a bear will run away from you most of the time, but if you provoke it,
yeah.
it may turn on you, and if it turns on you, you're dead meat. I mean, as simple as that, literally dead meat, because they're huge, they're strong, they got claws this
This
long.
was quite a while ago. We went out west. We flew out to Calgary and rented a car and drove to BC. And we went up to Jasper, and there was a lot of wildlife up there.
Yeah.
And on the side of the road, moose on the side of the road, and bears. We drove one by one area where tourists were literally out of their cars photographing a bear fairly close up. And I said, those people are idiots.
Yeah, and trying to entice it with food.
Yeah.
Yeah, small children are delicious, I hear, for bears. You
Yeah.
know, you can dangle a kid on a stick and go, here, bear, ooh, 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 ooh. Well, that's
I
only
mean,
an arm.
as it was, I even was uptight because we were driving by and there's this huge animal close to us.
Yeah, you just want to keep on going with that. But yeah, well, Canada is a beautiful country. We've traveled from coast to coast pretty much. The only province we've never been in
Is Newfoundland.
is Newfoundland, and it takes a while to get to Newfoundland
You have
because
to
it's
either
an island.
You either have to take a ferry overnight, and apparently the strait that you have to cross to get from mainland Canada to Newfoundland, it's very rough water because one of the lady that taught me how to do stained glass, she's from Newfoundland, and she sold her house a couple of years ago and moved back to Newfoundland, and I remember her going there on the overnight ferry, and she gets seasick very easily, and she said she had a horrendous time crossing the strait. The other way is to fly there, which is probably, she says that's the best way to go. But in her case, she was trying to transport her car and everything else over to
Yeah, well.
to them. They call it. I forget what the Newfoundlanders call it. They say they call mainland
The
Canada.
Rock.
No, they call it the Rock, but they call mainland Canada. They asked when we immigrated to Canada.
Oh.
They make it sound like they're going to a different
Well,
country.
actually, they're our last province to join, and they did
Yeah.
not become part of Canada until 1949.
Yeah.
So to them, they still and they have their own dialect of English in their own way. They're very nice people. They're very down to earth kind of a thing, but it's a totally different lifestyle than what we live in Ontario. We're very busy, busy, busy.
A lot of people, there isn't a lot of industry there, so a lot of people will come to Ontario to work.
But they're
But
always
they-
harking to go back.
They always want, they strive when they retire, they're going back.
Yeah, so let's catch up here on what people are saying. Kimberly says, I lived in Vancouver, Washington before I moved to the UAE, and when I told people where I lived, they thought I meant Vancouver, BC, Canada. Yep. And Mel says, I know we have bears too, and other carnivore. And Dorothy's here. Hi, Dorothy. Hi, guys. Sorry I'm so late. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Dorothy. Kimberly says, bears are cute and cuddly when they are toys, or get them with candy only. And Cindy's here now. She says, Happy new Steve and Walter and everyone else. I think one word left out. It's hard to text. It really is.
Especially when you have autocorrect and you end up getting weird words.
Kraft and Bev says, where we used to live in California, we had to keep our trash cans inside the garage because the bears will attack them. Oh, yeah. Or they would go swimming in your swimming pool. Oh, okay.
We have raccoons.
Yeah. Well, we don't.
I haven't seen them for a while.
We haven't seen them for a while. We've got bunnies,
Maybe the
raccoons,
wolves ate
coyotes,
them.
the wolves. Yeah, we have wolves in the backyard, sort of. Yeah. Kimberly says, sounds as bad as the English Channel ferry transport almost. Maybe, I don't know, because I haven't been, but maybe you boys know. Well, we have been many years ago before they built the channel. We had gone across the English Channel in the ferry, and
It was okay.
we had probably hit a
But
good
that
day.
was to go to Calais, not
Yeah.
they have overnight ferries to go to,
Oh, yeah.
to Holland and stuff.
And we've never been to Newfoundland, so we don't know what it's like to go on the ferry there. Mel says, we have our summer cottage, middle of nowhere, in a big forest, and I saw bears there a few times. Yeah, the only bears I want to see are the guys in the gay bars in Toronto, and they're just big hairy boys. And, well, they eat garbage. So we were talking, what were we talking about before we got talking about bears and Canada and everything?
I don't know.
I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Jeez, went right off the track. Well, anyways, so big event of the week. I can't remember if I mentioned it on this week's vlog or not. I think I did, but anyways.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah. Anyways, if you didn't see my vlog this week, so we're now the proud owners of brand new iPhone 10s. Why, you may ask? Well, we found out something, or I found out something. We had iPhone 6s, and I got stuff on my jeans, and I went, oh crap, I spilled stuff all over them doing something or other, and I decided to put them in the washing machine immediately. Very quickly. I took them off, in the washing machine you go. Forgot that I had something in my pocket. Now, I didn't realize this until I took the stuff out of the washing machine, and I heard clunk, clunk when I'm pulling it close. What's that? And I pulled out these little plastic reading glasses that are meant, they fit over your nose, and you put them on the back of your cell phone, so you always have them, so you know if you got to read a menu in a restaurant or something, you have these things with you. And I found them in there. And that was making the clunk clunk, and I go, well, how the heck did these things get... I know how they got in there. Oh my God, my phone was in my pocket. So I dived into my pants pocket, my wet jeans that had just been washed, and pulled out my phone. And of course, it wouldn't come on. So I thought, I'm screwed. So I took it, and I had read that people have dropped them in toilets and in swimming pools and things. If you put it in a bowl of uncooked rice and leave it in there for about 12 or 24 hours, it dries all the moisture out, and it may work. So I thought, well, let's give it a shot. So it sat in a bowl of rice for 24 hours. It did sort of dry out. When I turned it on, it still wouldn't come on, but I figured the charge was gone in it, so I plugged it in, and it took the charge. It was charging up, and actually everything on the phone worked, except the screen went cloudy. Actually, you could still see things. You could still use it. It still worked, but it was all
Yeah.
kind of cloudy on the screen. So Walter's been dying to get a new
I've
cell.
been debating about getting one, but the
Oh,
cost of
you've
them,
wanted one so
the
bad you could
cost of
taste
them,
it. Oh,
cost of
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
putting me off. So I bet, I mean, if he was going to get a new iPhone, it's not
Yeah,
like I was.
I still suspect there was some.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think he had this all planned. He knew he was going to do this. But anyway, so we ordered new phones, picked them up we ordered them on Christmas Day, picked them up on Boxing Day in a place about 45 minutes away from us. They have an Apple store there, and they sent them there. And so we're now the proud owners of iPhone 10s. However, well, expensive little toys. We got the phone, and we have ones that are unlocked. We don't
We
have.
bought them directly from Apple, so we paid full price.
We paid full price.
Direct.
We bought new cases for them, and we bought Apple Care, which is basically insurance on them. If you like drop it from the top of the Empire State Building or something like that, you get it replaced. All that in total with the tax came to just slightly over $2,000 each. Yeah. But I do love my new phone. It's right here. Here it is, people. It's what I'm looking at when I see your comments and everything. I do love my iPhone. And so, anyways, we now
Yeah,
have.
well, we're not on really a phone expensive phone plan. We're a little cheap that way. We're on pay as you go plans. So that, I mean, that way, and also if we're traveling,
Hush. Nothing going on. I was just having that was directed towards
what?
Kimberly. Kimberly says Walter is thirsty in capital
Oh,
letters.
yeah, yeah,
Said
wow.
he's lush. Anyways, yeah. So what you're saying?
So we're on pay as you go plan, so we don't pay a lot monthly for our phone. So
But now he's coming up with the idea that maybe we've talked about this for a while of totally getting rid of our landline and just going completely to our cell phones. And it would be and then buying a plan that gives us more like data and minutes and the whole bit. Because we
I
do pay.
don't know if we really need to do that much more of an upgrade because I mean even the plan where I'm on right now is 150 minutes.
Yeah, but so I don't know. The only thing is, I'm still hesitant about getting rid of the landline. I mean, I know lots of people have, and I always have my cell phone with me.
I mean, I rarely make a phone call in the month or whatever
Yeah, well, and
anymore, right? I mean, I might make one or two phone calls a
the
month,
only phone calls we get,
and I don't talk long.
the only phone calls that we get anymore, anyways, are from people who want to clean our ducts. We've talked about that before, or trying to look if we've got any clothing to donate to some charities, which they make those phone calls twice a week. The duct cleaners make one every other day, and those are the only phone calls we get. And we don't call long distance because we don't know anybody that lives long distance that I would care to talk to, quite frankly. And I call my mother, but she's not long distance, and she never calls me. So she waits for me to call, and I call her 3 or 4 times a week. So, cell phone, maybe we should just go that way, but there's just something reassuring about a landline. I don't know. So Walter's going to investigate it a little bit more and work out the costs and stuff and see, whether we should or not. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out. Let's see what people are saying. Craft and Bev says, I hope the insurance is better than what I used to work for. It was a rip-off from the beginning. Even though you paid all the money every month, you still had to pay $100 deductible. Well, yeah, there is something like if you get it repaired. Like we paid up front, $249 bang, and that gives us what?
2 years of 2 years and two accidents.
2 accidents. But even if you have an accident, you still have to pay
Pay $50 or something.
something on for that. So, but
I mean, if you buy Bell insurance, you pay $8 a month, and then you still have to pay $200 or $250 for an accident.
yeah, and Bev says, and you got a crappy phone that cost maybe $75 when you spent $500 or $600 for your phone. She's talking about a plan. Catherine says I drove over my 6 Plus, and now I have an X. But I hate that I can only access programs that are open by chance. I need to learn more about my phone.
Open by chance.
Open by chance. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Catherine. But I hear that I can only access programs that are open by chance.
Actually, I'm really liking the fact that there's no home button. I thought at first there was
Yeah.
going to be a problem, but I'm really liking that.
Yeah, actually, and I like the face recognition when I pick it up.
Yeah.
It's very good at that because when I set it up, I didn't wear my glasses, but even with my glasses on, it recognizes who I am. So
And what else is nice is as soon as you stop looking at it, it shuts itself down too.
yeah, Katie says that's a crazy amount of money for a phone. Is that because you're in Canada? Probably.
Well, actually, it's a little cheaper. Well, they're not cheaper because the Canadian dollar is lower, and everything's based on the American dollar, right?
Yeah.
Especially with Apple, it's based out of the U.S., right? So I think the base cost for the Apple phone is $999 for the 64 gig model, and in Canada it's $13.50, I believe, for the base 64 gig model. But we got the upper model, which is the 256 gig, and it's over $1,500 our money. Plus, we bought the Apple Plus insurance, which is another $250. Plus, we have to pay 13% tax on top of that for our income, our lovely government tax.
Yeah, so if you ever come, for those of you that live over in Europe and
Yeah, I
England,
know. Our value-added tax and sales tax in Ontario, anyway, are added together. So if you buy anything here at all,
or any services, like, or food in a restaurant,
you get nailed another 13% on top of the price that
Yeah.
you see. Like when we were in Australia, the value-added tax is included, so that whatever you see there on the product is what you pay at the cash register.
I bought a shirt there for $69. It was $69.
Yeah, but if here you bought a shirt for $69, they would add another 13% at
on
the cash
top of
register.
that at the cash register.
So that's basically what ends up costing us a lot of money.
Yeah, but let's see here. Okay, Mel says New Year's is close, fireworks started, and my dog is barking like crazy. And Bev says I only have a cell phone and my internet, and that is no landline. And Judith says she doesn't have a landline anymore either. And Katie says we did away with our landline several years ago, and 931 Thumbs haven't had a landline in years. So, I guess I'm a dinosaur. Maybe it's time to bite the bullet.
I mean, we used to always have a landline because of a security system on our house.
Yeah, but now it runs by cell.
Tied to our landline. But recently we upgraded our security system, and it runs on cell phone. So
yeah, so maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to give up the old and go with the new. Catherine says I don't know how to get to the open programs easily.
Open programs.
Oh, do you mean like you've already opened the program, but it's in the background, and you're trying to move across to it?
That's easy. You have to, when you drag up your finger, you drag it up slowly, and it opens up your.
See, just like probably you're getting a glare on this, so you can't really see. But I just dragged it up from the bottom, and now I've got all the windows that I have open of other things are right there.
And then if you hold it down, then you can close all the windows.
What, if you hold it down?
If you hold down on one of the windows, then the little
then it'll
minuses show
close.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you can look that up on YouTube. Anything that you want to do like that, just do look it up on YouTube. You can also download a manual from Apple. It's only like 600 pages long.
Yeah.
Just go to the support group and look for iPhone iOS 11.2 or something like that. And it's a manual that you can download to your phone that tells you all about your phone. And you can also, like I said, type in something on YouTube that says how to manage your Windows screens or whatever, and there's a whole bunch of tips and tricks that'll show you how to do stuff.
I need a drink. And so, well, Walter's making me a drink. Katie wants to know, did you put the super duper glass screensaver on your screens? We didn't put the super duper glass one, we put the film. Because that's what we had on our other ones, and actually the day we were at Apple Store and we were getting those as well, they didn't have any of the glass ones available. So we just went with the film because that's what we had in the last ones and it seems to work okay. I don't know what the differences in price
Well,
is.
it's supposed to be a little bit, theoretically, they're supposed to be a little bit more protective. But apparently there's the Belkin glass screens to put on it. Apparently Apple has recalled them because there's a problem with them, they crack. So that's why they weren't available. And we just have standard. I don't think I've ever dropped my old phone. I'm not saying I won't. We watched a video last night where people were dropping it
On purpose.
on purpose on concrete, and it was managing without a case on and
Yeah.
managed to.
They were
do
also
okay.
submerging them in water, the 10, and they were.
So good. You can
surviving.
wash this one.
Yeah, well, actually, he talked about it. The guy did put it in the washing machine and let it go through, and it came out. But I really don't think I'm going to tempt fate twice. Sandy says, I just wait for a granddaughter getting a new phone, and I get her old one, and she gets a new one every year. And Ilona says it's 20% in the UK for tax.
Okay, so that is that incorporated in your price? Like
Yeah, because I don't remember when we were in London in October.
that must be incorporated in your price.
Right in the price.
Whereas with us, it's added at the till on top of.
Because I didn't see any additional from that I remember.
So when you go up to the till, I know a lot of people that travel to Canada get uptight when that happens. They get to the till and they say, "Well, it's only $10, and it ends up costing you $13."
Yeah. And Katie says, is that 13% for universal health coverage costs?
No,
No, it's not.
no, health cover that doesn't cost. Our health coverage is separate. Actually, and each province does their health coverage separately. So actually, most Canadians, if you're working, it gets complicated. If you're working, you pay a premium from your
Paycheck.
and it works out to about, I think it's about $60 a month, right?
It automatically comes off
Yeah.
at source.
Yeah, right. But and the employer I worked for paid for it, so I didn't really have to pay it.
Well, we pay it. We pay it in various ways,
Yeah.
but it's kind of hidden in with all of the other taxes we pay.
Right. And the other thing is, so people that can't afford to pay it don't, but they still get health coverage. So
Yeah. So
I mean, it can get a little complicated, but it's not very expensive. So.
Mel says they have 25% VAT in Finland.
Oh yeah, but Finland.
Oh, it's just 24%.
But Finland has a lot of social services that we don't even have. Like, I mean, I think you have healthcare, but I think isn't your old age homes and your universities paid for as well. Whereas here, you still have to pay for university if you go to university. And old age home is subsidized here by the government, but you still have to pay a certain amount yourself.
I'm just catching up here. Lots of Happy New Year greetings to each other on the bunch here. And
And also with our drugs is Ontario has just instituted something new in that any kids under the age of 25 are going to get any prescriptions filled for free or paid by the government. And anybody over the age of 65 and older, gets all their prescriptions filled by the government.
You know, I don't have a problem with the over 65. I do have a problem with the under 25 one. And this is why I have the problem. I don't have a problem that they're getting free drugs in the sense that they're getting free drugs because they're young. They probably don't have careers established, and some kids don't in lower income families too that have younger kids. That's great. But here's the problem is we always get screwed because we're the middle class. So if you're the middle class, you pay for all of this stuff. You don't, you have, if you're not poverty stricken, you don't get any breaks. If
Yeah,
you,
like
if you make a
part-
6-digit salary, you get breaks.
Okay, see, a lot of Americans don't probably understand this, and they may think that all our prescriptions are free.
No, they're not.
They're not. If you're, right now, if you're over 25 and under 65, you have to pay for all your prescriptions, but most employers have a benefits package where they will cover prescriptions, right? And, if, you also can pay a certain amount of money into a plan, an Ontario plan that, it's only about $12 a month or something like that, and it'll cover catastrophic occurrences where you if you need cancer drugs or something like that, then you're covered, or AIDS
But not
drugs.
all of them.
No.
Not all of the cancer drugs are covered, and not
No.
all.
Okay, but then anyway, what the other thing is what was it? Where was I going with that?
I have no idea.
Okay, so yeah, we still have to pay for our drugs. Oh, unless you're in the hospital. If you go to the hospital, then your drugs are covered.
Mel says that healthcare is free or almost free in Finland. Also, education is free, including universities. See, universities are not free here
No.
either. And I know in Norway, they also cover the cost of nursing homes and things like that. Yes, their taxes are high too, but you want to know something? I would pay the higher taxes to have to get into nursing homes, like to get all that free and universities free and all that stuff. It would be worth it, I would think, with all of that. But not yet. And see, we live too close to the States, and we
live too close to America, and there's politicians in Canada that want things
that
to
think
go.
like the American politicians think.
Yeah.
Like basically land of opportunity kind of a thing. You make your own success, blah, blah, blah. You have all opportunities in the world, blah, 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 blah. The American dream, blah, 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 blah. So, sorry to our American friends there that I'm saying things like that, but I still don't get it. Why your politicians do not want universal health care. And I've heard them bitch about the fact that why should I pay, work hard and everything, to give freebies to the people who are on welfare or stuff like that. Well, that's not how we think in Canada. And at least the majority of us don't. We have politicians that do think like that, and I just don't get it. I just don't get it. But whatever. Let's not get too political.
Yeah, it gets too political. We're getting too serious there.
Good night, Catherine. And Happy New Year.
Our healthcare, everything, tax system is complicated.
And then Mel says, but unfortunately our idiots, current government, is trying to change all, more to a system that they are having in the U.S. Yes, and it's happening to us in Canada as well. Right now, we do have almost a 2-tiered health system. If you've got the money, you can get the more exotic treatments and faster. If you don't have the money, you're going to wait. So, and I'm talking things like cancer treatments and stuff like that. And that's not right. That's not right at all. You got to look after the people in your own country as well. But yep, that's the American influence. I mean, you can deny it all you want, but they have a lot of influence over here in North America. There's no two ways about it. And Bev says, they're just trying to get the rich richer and the poor poorer. That's been going on in every society since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
The haves and the have-nots. And the unfortunate thing is that in this country, we still have a middle class, but it's the middle class, which we are part of, that gets stung every time. There's always breaks in our taxes for the people who live on below a certain amount of money in a year, and there's breaks for those who make a certain amount of money up here, and the majority of us are caught in the middle between that, and we pay for all of that for everybody else too. So, and I don't mind helping out people who don't have as much for one reason or another through our healthcare system and education and welfare system and all that. That's fine. But it's getting to the point now where the middle class are becoming so overtaxed that
Plus, they keep adding new burdens to it, like We have something called unemployment insurance when what we pay into when we're working, and people that are women that are pregnant and give birth can take a year off maternity leave, and they get money out of unemployment from
Yeah.
that. And I think they've just upped that to a year and a half, haven't they?
Yeah, I
They
guess.
can be off
Yeah,
for a
something
year
like
and a
that.
half.
But anyways, let's not
But
get
anyway,
on.
we're getting complicated.
Yeah, well, we've got people here who want to talk about change. That said, Mel says, but it's New Year's now. Should we try to talk something more
Yeah,
happy
I
things
know,
like
I
arts
know.
and crafts? Yes, I agree, and so does Bev.
Okay, so let's do
And
that.
okay, and Brenda says, not to switch subject or anything. Laugh out loud. Did you check out the Bong Appetite on Netflix? The Bong Appetite.
Oh no, not yet.
No, I forgot about that one. Write that down. We did check out
We may
though.
not get that one.
Maybe not, but we'll check it. We did check out though someone mentioned last week Bright, the
Oh yeah,
movie.
we saw that.
So we did watch the movie. I have it down here in my notes to talk about that Bright on Netflix. Which, if you haven't seen that movie, it's a worth watching. It's interesting. It's got Will Smith in it.
Apparently, they're planning to make a sequel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Bright too. But actually, that wasn't bad. I don't think it'll win any kind of awards, but
No.
it was okay. It was an amusing little time waster, I thought, with it all. Da, da, da. It was a good movie, Judith says. Yeah, it was. And the other thing that we've been watching on YouTube or on TV is we've mentioned this one before, Las Chicas dos Cables, which is a Spanish show, Cables. Yeah, it's called Cable Girls. And we've seen season 1, and they just started season 2, and it's dubbed in English, but it is a Spanish show, and it takes place in the early. Actually, I think we're in 1929.
The only thing I don't like about it is that the voices they've picked for the dubbing
don't really fit
don't really fit the personality.
what the characters look
right?
like.
So yeah.
But it's a pretty good show. So I highly recommend it. Just don't watch their lips. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all. Just don't watch their lips when the dubbings come out. Although that's not so bad. It's not so much that. It's what, like Walter said.
And
these
you
voices come out.
you get a picture of what the person looks like, and then this other voice comes out that doesn't really make. But we watched the first season, and we're into the second season now, and you just sort of gotten used to the voices. So.
Yeah. And I think I mentioned we finally finished the other one, speaking of dubbed in voices. Another one, it's an Italian show called Suburra. Suburra. I think we talked about it last week. Well, we finished it, and actually, it's pretty good. Now, it's very violent because it's gang warfare and stuff like that. But
and imagine it's fairly controversial.
Yeah, but it's quite because it involves the church as well, like the Vatican and stuff in that as well, and the Italian mafiosa and these gangs and this one group that are the gypsies kind of a thing. But it gets fairly complicated, so it's hard to explain it, but it's worth watching, I think. I liked it. And I don't know when the second season of it'll come out. But also, speaking of seconds in there, Bev says, yep, they're already getting ready to do number 2 for Bright. Okay. And Katie says, I watched Crafty Lumberjacks on your recommendation, Stephen. They are entertaining and have some simple decorating ideas. Yeah, actually, and they are simple. Oh, that sounds bad when I say that. No, I think they're quite amusing, the two of them. But you might want to also check they also have videos on HGTV, the YouTube channel. And they list that, I think, under their other ones. So if you want to see more, because they seem to have more of them on HGTV, check that out. HGTV, the YouTube channel, not the regular channel on TV. And there's a few others on HG. Actually, we were watching HGTV quite a bit the other night. And there's a lot of DIYs on there, shows and things, and food ones and kind of stuff.
Wasn't there the lady that's, what was that one?
Oh, Kathy, is her name Kathy? Or no, it's Karen Cavett or something. I think I reviewed her on my vlog a few weeks ago. She's amusing. She's got some interesting ideas too. She's a young person, young as in probably in her mid-20s or something like that. But but she does a lot of DIYs as well. But she's also on HGTV. There's a whole bunch of
Yeah.
them that of this HGTV on YouTube kind of a thing. So that's worth watching. But another one you might get a kick out of. It's really silly. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the television show that was on back in the early 2000s, and now it's just come back again, called Will and Grace. But the guy who played Jack on that, which is Sean Hayes, he has a channel with, I think, his partner. Can't remember that guy's name. Scott something.
Yeah,
Iggle
Scott
something.
has a weird last name.
Weird last name. Anyways, they call it the kitchen sink. And sink is spelled SYNC, like into synchronize. And they do this lip singing to different songs. They're kind of amusing in what they do. They've got one, well, the very first one I saw had to do with Bing Crosby and I think they were the McGuire sisters
Yeah.
or something. And they have their lips moved, but they bring these television screens down over their heads and they do all this stuff. But they've got other ones in there too that are kind of, it's an amusing little time waster, as I call it. But it's something to check out. So it's called The Kitchen Sink, SYNC. So you might be interested in seeing something like that. I know what are people saying here. Oh, Chuck is here. Hi, Chuck. Happy New Year, Chuck. And Kimberly's back on. Walter's thirsty tonight. Well, it's
Yeah.
New Year's Eve. Oh, maybe he'll get a little tipsy and I'll take advantage of him, which means I'll go through his pockets looking for loose change. And Miss Purple Potato, which is Miss Purple Potato. I always want to call you by your wrong name. It's Jody. I always want to call you Don. I don't know why, but Jody. Yes, I watched the Lumberjacks too. Very funny. I'm also watching The Crown per your recommendation. Very good. Yep, I just finished the second season of The Crown. I love it. It is good. But boy, Prince Philip, he comes out like a complete a-hole in that. They really do a number on him. He is not a likable person in the way that they're portraying him. I don't know in real life, like they've never invited me over to their place so we could have cocktails, little sausage wieners or something, and a cheese on a Ritz cracker and discuss life. I don't know why. I've been to London. I've hung out at Buckingham Palace outside. Hey, Liz, let's do lunch. She never shows up. Let's see. I watched the whole first season of Ozark in the 3 days earlier this week. Oh, was it good? It's on Netflix. I saw
I know.
it.
I've seen it, and it's got good ratings, but we haven't watched it yet.
No, we haven't watched that yet. Well, maybe we better check that out.
It's something to do with drugs and money laundering and stuff like that. Oh, good. You just spilled on your iPhone.
But it's waterproof. Just a second. Remind me. No, I didn't get that much on it. So that's Ozark. Okay, I'm writing this stuff down here. It was sticky. Where did I leave off on here? Mel, I never make New Year's resolutions, but this year I'm planning to use more and more new ways to use recycled stuff and also to find new ways to repurpose old stuff. Well, I'm going to talk about it tomorrow on my vlog, but I just put up a video. I use packaging to make a tag, and I think, in my opinion, it turned out really nice. So you might want to check that out, but I will be referring to it tomorrow, and I'll put a link in my blog.
I may be
to it as well.
drinking faster. It's because you're talking all the time.
Oh, Bull Roar, give me a break. You've been like just a little chatty Cathy tonight. Like really? Yeah. Don't blame things on me. Kimberly says, "Oh my, I haven't watched any of these shows. I'm an investigation discovery addict." Laugh out loud. And they even have ID here in UAE. ID. What's ID?
Huh?
What is ID? Is that like Netflix or something, or what? I don't understand that one, Kimberly.
Okay, that
but
might be whatever you have over there. I don't know.
yeah, and Anne says she likes Narco on Netflix. I have heard good things about it. I'm not sure if that's my kind of show. I'm not really into drugs. I don't know. I have a friend who says it's great. He loves it, but he loves those kind of shows. And
Who, Dave?
Yeah, Dave.
Oh.
And so I don't know, but maybe I should check it out and see. Mel says, I already saw that, Stephen. It was great. And I'm assuming she's talking about, I don't know which one. It's hard to keep up with the...
Actually, we started watching Black Mirror again, too.
Judith says, I think he just likes the drink. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Ilona says, it did, Stephen. I loved it. Your tag, that is. Oh, she checked out my. Okay, I get it. And Ann says it's very violent, all based on true events. The narco one, yeah. Kimberly says it's the Investigation Discovery Channel. Sorry about that. Oh, ID
Oh, okay,
investigate.
okay.
I don't think we get that, do
I
we?
don't think we can get it, period.
No, I don't think so. And Mel said, I meant your video using packaging. Oh, okay. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with the conversation on here as it rolls by. But anyways, ew.
Yeah, it's sticky.
Oh, now I've gone sideways. Okay, just a second here. Come back to me. All right, there we go. Yeah, my notes now just got smeared. So, a new thing that I thought when in our what are we watching? Also, what are we reading? Well, nothing for Walter because he doesn't read
I don't read.
much. Only stuff on the internet.
Yeah, I read. I have a short attention span.
Yeah, yeah. But I just finished Dan Brown's latest book, Origin. Now, it's been out for a while. In fact, when we were in London in October, it was already out there. It wasn't out here. And I always buy my books through Kobo, which is an e-reader. It's like, what's the one in the States? Shoot, what do they call that?
Kindle.
Kindle, yeah. The Canadian version is Kobo. Anyways, I just finished reading that, and Dan Brown's the guy who did the, Inferno,
Da Vinci Code.
the Da Vinci Code, and all those. I've read all his books that he's had, and actually, Origin was very good as well. It keeps you moving. It's one of those quick reads kind of a thing because the chapters are short and it moves on through it all. The only thing was, I knew what the ending was going to be before I got to it, which means that I know his formula. Now, I've read enough of his books, and when you get to the point where an author, you start to see the formula, that's when I start to lose some interest unless they mix it up. But, having said that, it's still worth the read. It really is. It's a great book. In fact, I was looking into today about how to start a book club. I discovered something about book clubs in our area. They're sexist. They're all for women. There's Girls Go Wild read, and there's the Bad Girls of Bowmanville read, and all this stuff, and there aren't any ones that have guys in them. And I even looked at our public library, because they have groups too. Now, there may be guys in those ones, but they're all filled, like for months and ahead. When I went on their calendar and pushed on to the different ones, the book clubs they had, they said, this event already full, and whatnot. So I was sort of thinking, because I talked to a friend of mine about a year or so ago who had just retired, and he is a retired English teacher like me, and he talked about starting a book club. And I don't think he's done anything about it. And I'd kind of like to do that in some ways too, because it's a great excuse to get people together, talk about a book, and drink. Because we did belong to a book club at one point in time. And
Yeah. I didn't read, he read.
yeah, I read a book, and then other ones tried to get too serious in it, and the rest of us just wanted to eat and drink. So, yeah, did you read the book? Yeah, did you like it? Yeah, it was okay. Moving on. So it was kind of fun. But that's what you get when you get a bunch of teachers in a book club, because it was a bunch of teachers, except for Walter. I think we may have had one other person that wasn't a teacher in the group, but they were just there to drink anyways. So, but anyways, I thought that was kind of interesting. In fact, I was watching stuff on YouTube saying about, like, I did a search, how to start a book club, and a couple of them that I watched said the same thing. Why is it, they said, that men don't seem to want to belong to a book club?
Because they think it's a female thing.
Reading is not sexist.
Wow.
I don't know. Or maybe they're just stupid. I don't know. Whatever out of it, but yeah, so that's what I've been reading, and I've just started into, now this is a series, it is completely mindless. It's just good old-fashioned mystery and shoot 'em up. It's called, they're done by an author called Andy McDermott, and I'm not sure if he's a British author or an American author. They're pulpy. It's about a couple who, one is an archaeologist, the female's an archaeologist, and she discovers Atlantis, she discovers the Ark of the Covenant, all those kind of things.
I read a few of those.
Yeah, there's about 13 of them. I'm on the 13th one. They come out every so many years, new ones. Solomon's Curse, this one is about. And there's a whole lot of blood and guts and shoot 'em ups in it, and and then it's the whole archaeology thing, like Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of stuff in it. And it's one of those kind of books that I like to read that between books that are a little bit more serious, like books I have to think about, gives my brain a rest, so I'll read one of these ones or something like that, a little bit of pulp fiction kind of a deal, and then move on from there. But I read all the time, so I like to read at night just before I go to sleep. Actually, it puts me to sleep. I'm tired of that, and I read in the morning sometimes too, and that. But I like to read, so I thought a book club might be kind of fun. I also thought about having like a craft club where we get together once a month and just work on things. And I have a few people that I know would go for that. The only problem is most of those people all work. So we'd have to do it in an evening or on a weekend, and I don't know if I want to tie up my weekends or one weekend. I don't know, maybe. I mean, shoot, you're going to get out of bed till noon anyway, so half the day is gone to start with. So
And you go to bed at 9, so
I need
it's
my beauty
almost your
rest.
bedtime now.
Do you really think that this just happens?
Yeah,
No,
right.
it doesn't. It's a lot
That
of
and
work.
bio oil.
Yeah, screw off. Whatever. So that's what I've been reading, so I thought I'd add that in there. So let's see. What else? Oh, and what's cooking? Well, I already told you about the creme brulee in the sous vide method with his circulator and that. So we already talked about that. But what's eating Walter? The new one? Well, what's eating you? It's the one about people writing on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I had to remind him.
It's people write messages on Facebook, friends and that, and it's like they start in the middle of something, or they assume that you already know all the background, and they'll be talking about something and you have no idea what they're talking about.
For example, one of the people we know this weekend started in on a conversation about something, and it sounded like somebody in his family died. But I didn't know who. He didn't say what the relationship was to him, the whole bit. I had to go back and read everybody else's comments and piece it together. It was like a mystery to find out that basically it was his cousin's wife or something. Still don't know how old she was. I think she wasn't like an ancient person. They have a small son or a young son or something like this. But you don't get any information. And he's not the only one. He does this all the time. He starts in the middle of a thought. And all these other people do. Like, okay, people, I need to have a backstory.
And they'll post stuff like as a matter of fact, they are doing something somewhere in the United.
It's New Year's Eve. Are we back? Hello. We lost you, people. We lost the feed, which is unusual. That's all.
Well, it was back to
I just want to make sure that people are okay. Can just someone send me a message? Let me know that we're back on air here. Cut off because it'll be the time delay, right?
Yeah.
For that. So can you see us and can you hear us? Because we just had a reconnect issue. Anybody?
Yeah, somebody just popped out.
Oh, okay. I think we're back. It's not showing up on here though.
Maybe
I may have to reconnect. Oh, yeah, no, we're okay. All right. I see you. Okay, great. Don't know what happened there, but anyways, we're back.
Yeah, these friends also traveled to somewhere in the United States or somewhere, and all of a sudden they send this message about having this great time here, and we don't know where here is.
And where is here?
We have no idea they were going on vacation, and
well, it's not like they have to check in with us to let us know.
No, I realize that, but it would be sort of nice if you just sort of say, we're having a great time in Mexico, or we're having something. They don't do that. They just sort of like you're in the middle of something that they have no idea what they're talking about.
Like if you were having a conversation with somebody face to face, and if someone started in the middle of a sentence, wouldn't you turn around and say, well, wait, back up. What are we talking about here? But on Facebook, people don't seem to do that. It's like, what, you haven't been following me to know every little detail since the beginning of time? No, you're not that important. I don't know. I guess that's why I don't write a lot of messages on Facebook, because, quite frankly, if it wasn't for the fact that everybody is on Facebook, I don't think I'd bother with Facebook. But in this day and age, and I know there are people who don't go on Facebook and on purpose, but in this day and age,
I like it
need
in
it.
some ways that people I used to work with and stuff like that, I can still stay somewhat connected to them, right? So
yeah, well, you connect it with that one lady that we might or may not be seeing when we go. Oh, I guess we are seeing her, are we not? Or
I'm not sure.
when
She was talking about meeting us for a drink in Melbourne when we're there. So
yeah, so and that was somebody from a trip we met like 20 years ago
yeah,
or something. I don't really remember who she is, quite
I
frankly.
remember.
But she sent this picture through, and it was when we were on a European bus trip kind of a thing, and we went to Nice.
In 1993.
Oh my God. We went to Nice, and we had dinner with the group kind of a thing that were on this bus tour in a place called
As
Ez, and it was a really interesting restaurant. But anyways, they gave us these shooters of some sort. They didn't call them that, but it was some sort of liqueur or something, or some alcoholic drink. Nobody seemed to like it, so I drank everybody's, because I'm just like that. I'm just a lush. And I started, well, I'd had too much to drink, and I started taking people's napkins off the table. You have to remember I was young then, much younger.
35.
Well, I was young. And I was wearing them on my head as babushkas and going around. Well, she had pictures of this. Oh my God, everything comes back to haunt you eventually, but I still don't remember who she is. So Walter does. He's got a good memory
I think
for that.
she was with another lady that was her girlfriend at the time, and I mean, just a friend, like not a girlfriend, but I mean, it was and they were traveling together, and she was from no, she was from Australia. Her and her girlfriend were from Australia, and I guess we sort of hung around with them a bit.
You see, I don't remember any of that. So, I don't know.
I remember we had quite a hoot with them.
Yeah, see, don't remember. No, not at all. I guess you thought we had a hoot. Maybe I didn't think we had a hoot. I don't know. We got some more comments about Facebook, though. Bev says, I don't either. I post mainly in all the craft groups I belong to about projects I'm doing that concern that group. And Judith, she doesn't like Facebook. And Mel says, I really hate Facebook, but maybe someday it's a must to use it. And Katie says, I went off Facebook about a year ago. I might still look at art groups, but I don't like that people can see you're online and try to chat. And Catherine says, hello everyone. Late, but I made it to the party. Hello, Catherine, and Happy New Year. Brenda says, I keep connected to my family on Facebook. And then Mel says, it's because of all the information they collect about you and use it for commercials. Solutions, whatever.
Yeah, but it's not just Facebook that does that. You sign on to any account in any venue like YouTube or anything, and they keep stats on you. Like
yes, Google does.
And even like I used to work for a government agency, even us, a government agency, we resold all the information to companies and that too. So like, I mean, it's not just Facebook.
There's no such thing as privacy anymore. I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you want to stay in contact, if you want to stay up on what's going on, then the price you pay for keeping up to date on stuff is the lack of privacy. Now, speaking of lack of privacy, I think this is just an urban legend. Do you know what a robo is? A robo is a little vacuum cleaner, carpet sweeper that's runs all over your house and does things. We have one.
Yeah.
They're really cool, actually. They do a good job.
iRobot.
But apparently, it is claimed that the robos, the iRobots, have sensors in them, and while they're cleaning your house, they're recording things about you and about your house and transmitting it back through your Wi-Fi to that.
That's true.
That's what Dave was telling me. He read all these conspiracy theories on stuff.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think it's true either. I mean, what are they going to send back? Where my dust balls are? My fuzz balls? I don't know. But there's no camera on this stupid thing. But I mean, people get paranoid about this kind of stuff. You know, it's like they claim that when you're watching a YouTube video on your TV set, it's watching back at you and Google is collecting information. Well, actually, Google is collecting information.
Well, it's just
But-
like by any loyalty card that you have, like Air Miles or Aeroplan or anything like that, or any other points cards you do, it is a way for a company to collect information on you. Right?
Yeah.
That, I mean, you're getting a benefit of a point, but
Oh, not a robo, right? It's a Roomba. A Roomba, yeah. Katie said a Roomba, yeah.
if you have any kind of loyalty card, one of the things they're doing is collecting statistics on your buying habits.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way things go. It's like one of the women I used to do stained glass with. She goes, "How come when I Google going to Mexico or something, I suddenly get all these ads for going to Mexico?" I said, "Because they're collecting that information. The fact that you just Googled that."
Yeah.
I said, "It's Googled on your cookies or whatever in your thing."
Well, just never go to a porn site because all you're going well, I've heard about that. Let's move on. And Crafton Bev says, yeah, that's not true about the Roomba thing collecting stuff. Yeah, well, I know.
It would
But you
have
know,
to be connected to your internet.
well, yeah, but you know, a lot of people would believe that. I don't believe it, but yeah. And Brenda says it's also believed that they are watching you through your camera on your PC. Yeah, there's talks about that. So I hadn't really heard of that, but Walter had, and he'd already
Well,
put
no,
masking tape over his camera.
No, I think everybody did that at work because just in case you were not wearing work appropriate clothes when you were working from home on the computer and somebody tapped into that.
Mel says she uses Freedom by F Secure. It's really good, blocks collecting information. And Bev says, I keep my camera covered up with a little piece of paper until I use it. Yeah, well, ever since Walter talked about that too, I did the same thing. I put some masking tape over
Actually,
it.
I don't have it covered on my.
Actually, I think I took it off on my main computer because I was using that
If
other
somebody wants to look
camera.
at me, who cares?
Yeah, hello. Too bad for you. Oh, my eyes. Okay, whatever.
It's sort of like.
And and yeah, Kate says, well, they will only look once.
Yeah.
Laugh out loud. Catherine says, I'm a Nielsen family and I volunteer all kinds of info on myself. I don't mind. My voice counts. Yeah, I fill out these things for global test market or something, these surveys. I get like 4 requests a day to fill out these stupid surveys and you're supposed to get points. I've almost got enough points that I can get like an iTunes card or something or PayPal credit or something like that. It's the only reason I do it. In fact, I kind of cheat on them. I just give them the minimal amount of answers that I can on their survey and I don't care what it says. I'm just doing it for the freebies. It's the kind of person I am. And Mel says she also uses masking tape on her tablet.
I think it would be difficult in this day and age to be completely private.
Yeah,
You'd
I
have
don't
to
think
be
so.
totally off the grid.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not willing to go completely off the grid. I don't have any secrets. They can check out anything they want about me. It's not a problem. Whatever. And there's a lot of me around. Apparently, I did a search on Facebook with my name, and whoa, there's a whole lot of me around all over the world with that, and spell it the same way, both my first and last name. So you know.
But there's only me.
Yeah, we did a search for Walter. There's only him. Well, when they made Walter, they broke the mold. Unfortunately, he was still in it, a little cracked. Mel says, okay, Cindy's going. Happy New Year's, guys. See you next year.
We should be winding up soon.
Yeah, we are too. Bye-bye, Cindy. Mel says, I don't have anything against collecting information. It's only that you should know what they are collecting and ask
Yeah.
your permission. Yep, that's true. And Catherine says, makes you famous, Stephen. Yeah, I don't know, famous or infamous. And Brenda says, time for a refill. Well, actually, I think you are right, Brenda, but I also think it is time for us to do a New Year's Eve early countdown and say goodnight and goodbye for 2017. And we'll see everybody same time next Sunday, unless something changes. And I hope everybody has a great New Year's Eve, or for those of you that have already had the New Year's Eve, I hope you're having a great New Year's Day, and we'll see you all soon. And so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Bye, everybody.